Hello and welcome. It is Sunday, it is afternoon, and for the first time in weeks, it is not raining during the stream, so I kind of look like a ghost. It's too bright, too much light. I'm your host, Morgan Hazelwood, and I'm here for some productivity sprints and for hanging out and probably some snacks. As normal, I have with me Sako Tumi and Doc Coleman. Say hi to the nice people.
Hi to the nice people.
Hi, nice people. I'm just sitting here wondering which one of us is normal.
Okay, so why don't you introduce yourselves?
Howdy, neighbors. I'm Sako Tumi, also known as Voit. I write horror, and I'm a witch, and I'm a graphic designer, and sometimes I combine those three things. If you've ever wanted to play D&D, I have been releasing a series of videos that pertain to just that subject. So if you are interested in such things, you should drop by sometime. I would love to see you.
Awesome. Doc?
Hi, folks. I am Doc Coleman. I write about mad science, manners, and mayhem. Let's see. I'm tired today. I took off all day yesterday just to rest, and I'm still tired.
Oh.
Let's see. My the Kickstarter for the anthology that I'm in is down to its last 2 days, and we just passed 200 backers, so we're all excited for because that unlocked one more book for the early bird backers.
Nice.
And we're still pushing to get enough money to get unlock hardcover editions, but
Sure.
just a whole lot of excitement this week as we come up on Tuesday's deadline.
Yeah.
So today I am not going to be working on revisions to my story. I am not going to be working on revisions to my novel. I'm going to be reviewing galley proofs of the book so that I can point out any issues and or tell them if it all looks golden and it's ready to print. So
Oh my gosh. Galley prints of which book?
Of A Cast of Crows.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Yep.
The anthology.
The anthology.
Okay. Yay, that's super awesome and exciting. Yep. Oh my goodness.
Oh. Yeah, I'm so excited for this, and also so relieved that I just have to write a story and check the boxes, and somebody else gets to do all the hard work of making this thing get published.
Yeah. Oh, I get that. So,
we started with Sako.
Okay, I thought so. I am working on incorporating the beta reader feedback in my space fantasy. And last week, I incorporated the feedback from chapter 2, and then realized that even though the readers didn't complain, the beginning of the chapter that introduced my space aliens was very, very heavy on the info dump. So it took several writing sessions, many hours with not insignificant number of Facebook breaks, and I have rewritten almost every sentence, rearranged half the paragraphs, cut stuff, added stuff, and instead of 658 words, I now have 660 words in the first 3 pages, and it conveys the exact same information, but I hope more in a dynamic sense and less in a let me tell you about the world. Yeah. So
as you know,
yeah, I'm hoping to get through the rest of chapter 2, because I mean the readers didn't have any problems, and I just wanted to make sure that the opening of this introducing the new character was just as dynamic as introducing the book and the first character. So they all deserve to be superstars. So let me pop into the comments. Let's see. Hello, Greg, and welcome. I heard you got a new deck this week that is already puppy approved, so that's good. Hi, nice authors.
Yep.
Raven says, Morgan, and frankly, most of us, I guess, is part Mogwai. Due to my pasty complexion, I'm
light bright.
Let's see. Jen writes, romance is here. Hello and welcome back. Raven, quoting Doc, I took a day off to rest and I'm still tired. Doc just said the most relatable thing ever.
Yep. I am the voice of my people, whether I want to be or not.
I took 2 naps today, so I mean, right there with you. I mean, okay, one was more of a rollover and then a nap. So
okay.
Raven took 2 extra days off this week because of persistent vertigo. Ouch. So 4 days off and still been dragging ass through my now 3-day work week. Well, I mean, if you have vertigo, you've got something going on that's hitting your immune system hard. So yeah, taking 1 day of rest and still being tired really resonates this week. Patrick is recovering from his kid, declares that recovering from his kid takes 3 days. He does not get 3 days often. So
yeah. And
Desdemona also on the nap train.
See, this is where I get back at those people that say that you need to write every day. And it's like keeping those writing trains going is great, but eventually you will have to stop. You will just have to.
Yeah. I mean, some people, I guess, don't. I guess it really depends how many factors they have going on in their lives at the same time.
It depends on how long you can go, depends on how well you've got balanced everything out in your life. So that you can do the work and have the fun that refuels you so you can do more work. But eventually you got to take a break.
Yeah. And I think that's the same for introverts, extroverts, people with health concerns and people without them, people who,
productivity addicted.
Yeah.
Right. Or not. We all, need breathers from time to time. Mm-hmm. And I think if you've been around before, you know that I'm a huge proponent of making these breaks intentional so that you actually rest and don't work on it, but feel guilty for not working on it the entire time. Because I don't personally find that restful when it's like, I should be doing this, but instead I'm playing nanograms for 12 hours a day.
And you really don't want to feel guilty for not working because something else jumped up and took over your life and you had no choice but to do all of that. So
yeah. So popping back to the comments, Desdemona's already taken 2 naps today. Overachiever. Greg says it was a dark and stormy night, and he just finished washing one of the dogs, or both the dogs, and they are miffed at me. Jen says, I try and convince myself that 1 good night of sleep will fix everything. It won't hurt. It definitely won't hurt. It's a good step in the right direction.
Yes.
Hello, Merle Martin. I love newcomers. I love returning regulars. I love the occasionals. If I didn't like people, I wouldn't be here. Since you're new, we mostly chat for 15 to 45 minutes. And then we do productivity sprints, usually about 22 minutes, but occasionally we do 45, 2-hour long. I think we only did the 2-hour when I was trying to finish beta reading for someone. But usually 23-minute sprints because it's 2023 and Morgan is easily amused.
So we have entertaining conversation interspersed with scintillating silence as we do writing sprints.
I mean, sometimes I don't mute my microphone.
This is true.
And occasionally Catticus leaps at my head, so...
Yeah.
But I bribed him. I opened the window just as I started the stream, so he's very distracted.
Probably a good choice.
So, what are people working on today? Desdemona is writing a new chapter for their current work in progress. And they realized they'd skipped over a really important event and the main character's reaction to finding out he has a 15-year-old brother. Oops. So, Raven says, unless writing is an actual compulsion, having to take a break at some point is inevitable. And Patrick points at himself and says compulsion.
Yeah.
Speaking of, are we doing the Patrick and I every other Monday rewrite queries? I think we're scheduled for tomorrow, but I understand if we're not doing it. Let me know. Oh, ouch. Jennifer Brown got awoken at 3 a.m. this morning and can't nap, or the days and nights really get confused for her. So, hi, I'm so sorry that your sleep was stolen from you. Shake my fist at evil insomnia or whatever woke you up. So, and Greg says he finds the always amusing cat to us attacking the human. I believe being
Catticus.
Greg is saying he's Team Catticus.
Team Catticus. I usually am, unless he draws blood. So yeah. I actually did a huge remodel this week. I turned his cat tree around because he swiped at the roommate's 8-year-old's face coming out of the sunroom. So now the perch is against the window. I don't know if you can see that.
Yeah.
Instead of closer to the door frame. So hopefully that will make things safer for everyone. But he currently needs an escort in and out of the sunroom. Distract the cat so I can make him run for it. And then he scampers. And let me tell you, what attracts a cat like nobody's business?
A predator, no less. Yeah.
Scampering.
Yep.
So
that's prey behavior. I must hunt it.
Right? Jen is looking over her essay for English and not wanting to fix it. It got decent feedback for the first time. Do I worry about it?
Nah.
Oh, and Jennifer Brown's sleep was stolen by evil chronic illness. You need to be able to delegate those to the politician of your choice.
That would be nice.
Right? So Raven totally empathizes with trying to retain one's sleep pattern. Raven's broken the past couple of days because of derailment, because of the vertigo, and hopes to actually get his 2 days off this week so he has the opportunity to correct course. So that's why we have you, because usually this is not your comfortable on your wake sleep cycle.
So. See, I know when I get vertigo, about the only thing I can do is sleep.
When I get vertigo, it's usually related to a cold, and the cold will show up in 3 to 4 days after I start getting vertigo. And the chiropractic adjustment maneuver thing makes it worse. So much worse. Like, give me Benadryl and give me half an hour to stop having the room spin. So, but they did scans of my brain and have determined it's not MS. It's just inner ear fun. So my uncle has to get the maneuver thing done, I don't know, every 6 months, because the crystals in his ears legitimately get misaligned. And so it thinks he's not oriented the way he is, which is not fun. So
I can see how that would be a problem.
It's not great. It's not great, but it does sound very new age. Sorry.
Newage. No, I like newage. Newage, right with sewage.
That's my dad's thing, and I didn't mean to say. I'm open to any belief structure, but yeah. My dad is pagan and definitely
I like that it could be new dash age or newage.
You choose the pronunciation depending on how well you relate to it, right?
or how well aligned you believe the practitioner you're discussing is with how grounded they are. Perhaps how grounded they are.
Or how woo-woo.
Right, how woo-woo. Right. So I started talking about crystals in my uncle's ear, but no, really, there's alignment crystals in there.
Mm-hmm.
There's good woo and there's bad woo, and there's what the woo.
Woo.
But if the woo works for you, lean into the woo.
Yep.
I did a reading for a friend this week, and oh my gosh, she asked, "Is my luck going to change?" Because things are just been, and I drew Wheel of Fortune and the star.
Yay!
And I'm like, your fortune's changing, honey. But I'm like,
keep your spirits up.
Yes.
It'll turn around.
Right. I think the third one was, you're going to have some good choices, but weigh the pros and the cons. Don't just leap.
Yeah.
So, okay. Popping back to the comments. Jen, I'm not looking to get straight A's, just a degree. I'm messing with it a little, but not rewriting 7 pages all over again.
D's get degrees. Yeah.
Yeah. I think I graduated with a 2.7.
Yeah, I wasn't far behind you.
And I work with plenty of MIT graduates. So occasionally I've got some imposter syndrome going there, but I'm still turning in the work and getting paid the same. So but yes, yay for it not being MS.
Yeah.
Raven says he feels asleep basically right after work because he gets off at 8 a.m. both of the days he worked this week, in defiance of his normal pattern of staying up till about 3 or 4 before getting tired enough to sleep. And Jen says a B in English is a little sad for me, though.
It is.
And Desdemona says, I have a diploma. My grades are not on it, so no one knows. I don't even remember my exact GPA.
Ditto.
Now I have to say that I remember my exact GPA for when I got my master's, because I was in a program that let us take one class at a time.
Oh.
So naturally, I got an A in all my classes, so I've got a 4.0 for my master's.
Nice.
My sister was a little different.
Yeah. I just have an undergrad. I do, day job that pays the bills is software engineer. I have a degree in pattern recognition.
Yep. And there are definitely plenty of people out there who are very smart and just go ahead and start working on stuff and don't ever have the patience to go and get the degree, or who go into trade. They're still brilliant.
Oh yeah, definitely. Degrees mean nothing towards intelligence. It just means
dedication.
And you
can finish stuff.
Well, yes,
it's a certification. It means that you've been recognized of having a certain level of knowledge from some educational body. That's
persistence. It's a recognition of persistence.
Yep.
So, what about sprinting? Do we think we want to get some productivity in?
That would probably be a good idea.
Yeah.
Marl says college means resilience.
Does it though?
I think college has.
It depends on the college.
It has chewed people up and spat them out before.
Yep.
Yes.
Persistence. I'll go with persistence. Mm-hmm. So, Desdemona says they have a BA in psych, but works in IT. So it's just a backup plan, though more so if I upgrade it to a master's. Yeah. An undergrad in psych is sadly not very useful.
It will open a interview.
Yeah.
For social work.
Right. I'm just saying, should you want to pay the bills, it's not amazing.
Yeah.
Until you get the higher level things, you're not really getting a subsistence wage.
Yep. Same with
I've always thought that having a degree in psychology and not going into any kind of professional or clinical psychology is like good for being an author in terms of understanding people and motivations. But
a friend of mine actually became a cop with his undergrad in psych.
Mhm.
So I did worry for him because he's ADHD, like, whoa. I remember once coming in, a friend of mine went to his dorm room to hang out and play video games. And, my friend came in, said hi, gave him the nod, sat down, playing his video game. And 20 minutes later, cop friend turns around and goes, "Whoa, when did you get here?" Nobody was being quiet. They were shouting at the game and everything else. He's got that focus, and
Got that focus down.
not something that, so I was worried about him when he was a beat cop, because when he gets in that zone,
Object
nothing else
permanence.
makes sense.
Well, and I've known some ADHD people who were great in chaotic situations because they'd let the multi thing go wild and track everything, and still manage to get stuff done.
Yeah.
But yeah, having the focus at the wrong moment is definitely going to be a problem.
Yeah. So, okay. Popping back to the comments real quick. Demona says, yeah, my psych interest influences my work a lot. And Jen says, I am taking some psych classes just for fun. Major is English. So awesome. Well, let's go ahead and get into whatever you're working on today, be it edits, snacking, or video planning, or what have you. So let's go ahead and get started in 3, 2, 1, boom. And we're back.
Yep.
So, how was your sprint?
Relaxing.
Nice.
That was the goal today.
Excellent.
Well, and I got through 3 of the pieces that I need to proof.
Nice.
Fortunately, the last one's my story, so I have to read that over again. which is not a bad thing to read my story. It's just I'm so familiar with it.
Mm-hmm.
Trying to make sure that I'm looking at it with fresh eyes instead of glossing over the parts I already know. And I see you've got some mandatory cat content going there.
I do. So I actually got 3 pages edited, so I'm not feeling sad about that. I think I reread the 3 that I'd redone and tweaked like 1 or 2 little words here and there, and it just flowed nicely into the next section. So I'm much happier with the shape of it. So that's good. My sprint was fueled by Girl Scout Samoas.
Ah.
Ooh.
And a bag of chips, and
all that in a bag of chips.
All that and a bag of chips. And I opened the window for him, and I gave him treats. And oh my gosh. And I flipped him over and gave him my arm to chew on, and then he got up to threaten my face, which is so not what I wanted. Oh, maybe the issue is I'm wearing bracelets. Let's fix that. Is that better? Okay. So, like, he had an hour of lap time before the stream. I don't even know what he's complaining about. And he's got an open screen door. Okay, no, like the sliding glass door is open. The screen is not. So he's just needs attention.
Yep.
So, popping into the comments, Mama Maggie is here. Hello and welcome. And she sends hugs. Thank you. Desdemona got 537 words. Sarah, Wordsmith Sarah is here and be an introvert, but that's totally cool. Go hide. Raven says, it's been almost 2 full years since I touched my 1 finished draft of my novel. I wonder when my eyes are fresh enough to look at it again. It's up to you. Some people wait 2 weeks, which I don't think is enough. I think 3 to 6 months is probably the sweet spot for me, but I usually finish a draft or an edit on something else, and when I come back to it, I feel ready, you know?
So write the next novel and then come back and look.
Exactly. So Mama Maggie also loves Samoas because they're delicious cookies.
Yep.
Marl Martin was able to review all of the basic concepts of the Krita digital painting program.
Okay. I have to say, I do love the Samoas. I just wish that they hadn't started the whole thing of putting fewer in a package.
Yeah. Although right after they took out the trans fats, the recipe really suffered, and I think it's bounced back a bit, or it's been so long I don't remember what they're like. One of the two. Okay. Are we threatening my face? Because if so,
he's getting ready.
He's looking all kinds of belligerent there.
No, just walk away. Just walk away.
He is looking like he is so calling your bluff.
I will spritz you in the face. So, popping back to the comments, Jen thinks Maggie can make her own Samoas. Maggie would like to hail our feline overlord. I would like to be the overlord. And now that he has saved face, he will stalk off. Excellent. Yes. Raven spent that sprint watching YouTube videos, which is about what I did last week. So, hello, Blinkerbell. Eva's joining us over on, and here too, on Twitch as well. Thank you. I appreciate that. Mama Maggie says she does make her own Samoas, but they're not pretty. Are they supposed to be?
Ditto.
So, Oh, yay! Maggie just finished the Neurodivergent Publishing Conference. Oh my gosh. Tell us about it. I'm going to check out your video about it.
I did not realize there was one. I'm glad to hear that there is.
Same. Sorry, I had to slow blink at my kitty because he was being good. So Eva is doing a read through and a few copy/line edits as they go. Finished developmental edits yesterday. Yay! Just polishing the draft to make sure it's set for alpha readers. I'm moving heckin' slow though. Yeah.
As long as you're moving forward, it's good, right?
Yeah.
Right behind you, Eva.
Jen says, how was it, Maggie?
The conference.
Yeah. So Raven said, unfortunately, The Mountain Speaks is a foundational novel for the shared setting of all my other planned works, and without completing it to my satisfaction, I can't move on to the next. That's a struggle. For me, for the book I'm actively querying, I actually have the roughest rough draft in all of creation of its sequel. And while I'm not doing anything to the sequel until I figured out what the final shape of book 1 is going to be, by knowing where I want to go, it helps me set up things better and make sure it's integrated and ready to not just pop out of nowhere in book 2.
Yeah.
So it's another perspective. I totally understand the needing to make it right before you can move forward, though. Thoughts? Anybody else?
I've got a whole series of open-ended series of books in the same universe with mostly the same characters. And if I sat down and tried to make sure everything was perfect, I think I'd go mad. I'd literally have to write everything out, the entire series.
And some people do, and that's how some people work. So I totally understand.
I know an author who started writing a series and I think he published 2 books in the series and then realized it wasn't 3 books. It needed to be more like 5. And he'd already made mistakes in the first 2 books. So he unpublished them. Okay. And now he's in the process of revamping the whole series so that it all hangs together. And while I admire him because he's basically telling one massive story,
right.
I'm trying to tell a lot of little stories. So I leave enough room in my history that I can always hook new things in.
Yeah. So, okay.
But hey, it's your story, Raven. Give it the best you got.
I wrote book 3 before I wrote book 6 before I wrote book 1.
Oh, wow. Did you write it in that order on purpose, or did you realize where it needed to? Okay.
Though technically I wrote book 3 as a short story first.
Okay.
And then was like, in order to explain the importance of this story, I have to write everything else. So I wrote book 3 and then I went back. So it was easier to find things to make a reference to.
Right.
Rather than,
Yeah. And that fits in with your whole, you like writing the first chapter last. So by writing the last book before the first book, you can make sure you had that symmetry that you like.
Exactly.
I actually was rereading the latest encrypted book by Seanan McGuire, and I did a shout out on Twitter about how much I just reread like the same scene, well, the book from that reunion scene to the end, like 3 times. And she said that scene has been living with her before she started the series. It's been over a decade, and she was so glad to finally get it on paper. But you needed to know the world and the characters and why everything matters before you could get to these characters and tell their story. So it was super awesome. And the new one comes out in March, and I'm super excited. But anyway, so Desdemona has some Girl Scout cookies waiting for them. They just need to pick them up from a friend. Scalesy says, says hi from Twitch. Maggie said, Maggie shared the AuthorTube tiny URL to encourage neurodivergent writers from TikTok and Facebook to join us here. Awesome. Thank you so much.
Cool.
Eva said, I'm the same. After this book 1's edit, then it's time for book 2's, and then I can finally go draft book 3. So Desdemona also said, I didn't realize it was a thing. I lost track of what Eva said. That's what I keep saying to myself, Doc. Probably about separate books and people.
Probably about leaving enough room in there that you can go hook things back into your timeline. But
right. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So Maggie says it will be coming to a YouTube channel near you, and Maggie will be sharing the ones she was in with SD Houston, Jenna the Soul Writer, and Heather Dewey Pettit.
Pettit.
Pettit. Okay.
I don't know.
No, there's no I. So Eva says, sorry. In this middle grade series, each book has a different character's point of view, so my own knowledge changes with each book. That way you can wiggle around things not being the same, because not everybody knows the same stuff. And Eva is going to query the 3rd draft, and this is going to be the 2nd. So Eva absolutely doesn't trust herself to finish a series if they publish part of it first. It does lock some doors that editing keeps open.
Yeah.
So I think the other was about writing the whole series before you start publishing it. But
yeah,
I could be wrong.
So Maggie says there will be a snap at the founder when she asked me not to use the word tribe because it's an ethnic group word. Yes, my ethnic group. Thanks, pasty white woke girl. I'm sorry you had to deal with that. Desdemona says, yeah, I'm writing the rough drafts of my entire series before publishing anything.
Me too.
Eva says, that was my original plan. I stalled on book 3, not knowing how I fixed things. I knew I had to fix. So here I am. So Maggie says she tries and wrote the final battle in book 12 before writing books 5 through 12. Eva feels that vibe. Maggie, I read and write the last chapter first. Yes, I am deviant. So Marl's, hello, is one of the neurodivergent authors that Desdemona brought here. Thank you.
Nice.
Excellent.
Yay. Ooh, and is working on a paranormal romance, which is right up Morgan's alley. So, and Eva says, slow progress is still progress. The paraphrased version of what Doc said. That's what I keep telling myself. Okay. Yeah. I get that. So, yay. Yay for progress. There we go. So, and now we're caught up with the chat. Perhaps it's time for a quick stretch break before we do another productivity sprint.
Yep. Sounds good.
Where's Nightbot? Where do you need him? Right.
Oh, and I'm wearing my swag from when I went to Nashville retreat with the writers.
Nice.
Middle group. And I think the book is cute with the little heart coming out of it. Mm-hmm. But I also kind of think it looks like a butt.
It does kind of look like a butt.
Depends on what kind of book it is.
So maybe it is that kind of book. Who knows?
It would not surprise me to find out that someone has written a pop-up butt book.
Oh, brilliant.
Rule 34 of publishing. What? No.
Eva is filling in his Nightbot and send us a stretch message. Thank you, Eva. Picking up what Nightbot is dropping. The book of pop-up butts. What you can't quite tell is it's 3 different colors, the heart part. Let me see if I get super close, if you can tell.
Oh, there's multiple hearts.
Yeah.
So it's stacked.
It's got tan lines.
Right. Yeah, no. So, oh my, there is a pop-up boob book. So,
So it's obviously only a matter of time.
or it already exists and we just haven't run across it.
Yep. Hi,
So.
kitten.
Oh, do we have another kitty on stream?
Well, not quite. She's deciding whether she's going to join me on the couch.
I mean,
Oh.
that makes sense.
Here she comes.
Oh my, the pop-up sex books. We've got butts, we've got boobs, we've got, whoa, put that away, buddy. That's gonna put somebody's eye out or give them a really nasty paper cut to their face.
Oh, that's rude.
Ouch. Hi. Hi. Let's say hi to the kitty instead of talking about pop-up sex books. Hi. Okay,
You're gonna
sprint.
climb up on me. Or are we gonna sprint first?
I think sprint.
Sprint.
I reset the timer. Let's do this.
Sprint.
Productivity in
You're gonna sprint and the cat's
3,
gonna climb on me.
2, 1. Boom, chakalaka. Whoops, I minimized it. It's gonna go away. Wait, what? It didn't go away? I'm so confused.
I can't tell. Hello, happy fuzzy girl.
don't even know what you want. And we're back.
Yep.
And Catticus was being a jerk despite getting bribed with gushy food.
Really?
Yeah. He decided ankles should be attacked because he's a jerk on occasion. So anyway, I finished editing chapter 2. I'm now into reading the feedback from my beta readers for chapter 3. I'm going to incorporate it and then see how it flows and how the introduction to character number 3 of 3 goes. This is the first time I've written a book with 3 characters. And the first time I've written a book where they're not all, like, I've written 2 characters before, but they're all in the same place and it just alternates views as they go through the story.
Right.
So,
and now you're writing a braided novel.
Braided, yes,
Yeah.
yes. Because we have Vasilisa, her cousin Jana, and the alien whose ship Vasilisa ends up on, Uaya. So Vasilisa's parallel with one or the other, but never both at the same time. And so getting the timing right was super tricky and ended up adding like 4 chapters to my book. Because I needed to split things so that things wouldn't happen before other things happened.
As long as it keeps the reader's interest.
Yeah. So anyway, how was y'all's friend?
Not shabby. I finished this week's newsletter thing.
Yay,
so
nice.
That'll go out on Tuesday.
Sure.
Yeah. I got through 5 pages of proofing the galleys for my story, and actually found one mistake, one errant apostrophe that must be eliminated at all costs.
Must tisk. Oh, and you might notice behind me is no longer a Christmas tree or like garland swag.
Yep.
Indeed.
So. It is an entire secular void of Christmasness.
So, yeah. That popping into the comment, Raven said, "Hey, Kitty." Yep. Marl reassured me that minimizing for some reason did not actually hide the timer. I think I actually clicked on the window behind it so it was in front of rather than actually minimizing. Because but hey, whatever. I didn't want it to go away, so we're good.
Yeah, that's an experiment to do on a different stream, not one for these nice people.
Yeah, no. So Jennifer Brown is back. Hello. Saw the hot chocolate on the thumbnail and thought it was a Muppet. Jennifer clearly needs some sleep.
I want some hot chocolate.
Yeah.
I now have the things for fancy hot chocolate. Ooh. It's rose hot chocolate.
Okay. So I might be partaking in some after the stream.
I had a friend give me a couple tins of dark chocolate and milk chocolate mix a couple years ago. It actually was fancy schmancy. I haven't ever gotten through all of it. I've still got it. So.
Okay. And Maggie had to restart her computer after an update. So Marl read the next section in the Critter user manual and is ready to try a few things. Awesome.
Cool.
And Raven is still watching a YouTube film making fun of the film adaptation, The League of Extraordinary Gentlemen. A movie he was really excited to see for, and while it had some elements that were good, it was largely a silly pile of Hollywood refuse.
Yeah.
And Desdemona was on a spree and wrote 634 words. Very solid. Nice. Snaps.
Desdemona, you were really cranking those words out today.
Seriously. And here's when I mentioned that I snapped the weirdest of anyone in known creation who can snap. I snap with these 2 fingers on my left hand and these 2, my thumb and my first finger on my... Nothing else makes noise. I think some of it's the hypermobility and the angle that the joints hit at, but nothing else really makes noise. the best I do with these two fingers.
Yep.
This one's adequate but not amazing. I'm a very bad snapper, and I'm, clearly no longer a useful person. I've been trying this for quite some years now. So Maggie says the child wants to watch Don't Look Up.
Uh-oh.
That sounds creepy.
Does.
And Desdemona says that Critta is fun to play with. So yay, that's awesome.
I have no idea what Critta is.
A paint program of some kind?
Okay.
It sounds like it should be a Cricut program.
Yeah, it does.
Okay.
So, I'm not the only one. Maggie can snap pinky on the left hand, but not the right hand. I can almost do pinky.
I can't do pink. My pinkies are too crooked.
I can do it, but it's very quiet.
But the ring finger, the middle finger.
I'm also better at whistling in than out. So.
I only whistle by accident.
Me too.
So, okay. And Desdemona says there is a lot of tension going on. Oh, in the book, which is easy to write out for Desdemona.
Nice.
Yeah.
Oh, that's the high word count. Got it.
Yeah.
It's like there's lots going on. Gotta write all the things.
Yeah.
I can believe that. It's usually when I hit a combat scene where I'm cranking out words.
Wait, I thought for you that's when you hit a repartee dialogue scene when they're being witty at each other.
It's the word physical combat or verbal combat. Yes, those will crank out a lot of words.
Gotcha. So, for those who were confused, Marl says that Critta is a free open source painting program. Okay. So, Maggie says, oh, okay. Don't Look Up is not a horror. It's a political satire, unless you consider that there are people like them in the world, and then it's the biggest horror of all.
Yeah.
So.
Yep, it's the horror you can't escape.
Yeah. Marl says, for Marl, when my characters are panicking, worrying, or have anxiety, that's when I can crank out words. I would say my strength is writing internal dialogue. So like whatever the character is thinking, feeling, scared of, excited about, pours out. And you know how some people are underwriters and some people are overwriters? I'm both. I overwrite the internal dialogue and underwrite the external description-y bits. Because I care what's happening to the character and what she cares about or he cares about. I don't care about, the table was 3 inches to the left and the food smelled like garlic and... Okay, maybe I do care if it smells like garlic and butter, but still.
I can definitely relate to that as... My usual comments I get back are that I need more descriptions of what things look like, and you need more descriptions of what things look like, and we need to cut so many 100 words, and it's like I can't do both.
So it's that high fantasy like template stamp is the super verbose descriptions and whatnot.
There's a certain amount of that. I think it's because I'm writing steampunk, and people think that things in steampunk all look interesting, so they should be described. And it's like no. Does it look novel to the characters? And it's like, to the characters, all this stuff is familiar. So I may use different words. It's like, it's not a couch, it's a divan or a settee.
Right.
But and that's where you should take your clues from. But the rest of it, paint in your brains, because this is just a couch.
Yeah. So I think my favorite thing is, if you're going to describe something that's very commonplace to the character, but very weird to the reader, is have somebody complain about it. Like, oh my gosh, this settee clearly needed to be restuffed, had the fabric on the outside been replaced since my grandmother's day. It just gives a few clues to what sort of thing we're talking about. But yeah, you can get away with a lot of info dumping if you have somebody complaining about it.
That's actually a pretty good rule of thumb.
Because people don't talk about, oh, I'm doing this just like I do every day. No, they're like, oh my God, it's raining again.
I do something similar to avoid the.
Merle's got to head out. Thanks for joining us. And we're here almost every week. So, okay, I cut you off.
I do something similar to avoid the appearance of racial or national prejudice. I don't have, as a general rule, I don't have one person from a particular nationality or racial group. I have two, and they argue just to show that these people are not all out of the same cookie cutter. They have different opinions.
Cough, David Eddings, cough, cough.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
David Eddings has people from this country tend to be
racist.
Yes, totally fantasy world. But, these people are all drug addict, lazy people. These people are all clever spies. These people are all, very earnest and straightforward and kind of oblivious. And that's how he does his nationalities.
Yikes.
So
I
enjoyable in 7th grade.
I grew up making World of Darkness characters. So the type of denizen of the World of Darkness that they are, I had one of everything.
Of course.
And I think I had a total of 3 out of 100 that were white.
Yeah. So
okay. When I played a World of Darkness, when we'd usually create characters, you'd create a character that was a prime candidate to be embraced by at least 3 different clans, and then the DM would tell you who actually embraced them and why.
So the story in which my Enzo, my damn Hitman story kind of emanates from is a mage game. We didn't know it was going to be a mage game. It was just going to be a World of Darkness game.
Sure.
And we were told to make mortals. So I tailored my mortal to be particularly enticing to vampires, and my mom made a kinfolk, and etc. Right?
Yeah.
And I lost my train of thought.
Oh.
One of everything versus showing 2 so you can have comparison about how they're not all the same.
Yeah.
We got a bunch of comments. I'm going to try and bounce through them real quick.
Okay.
Let's see. Maggie says, I don't fear monsters or demons, werewolves or vampires. I feel real people.
Me too.
Eva said, I don't know what I did, but it wasn't editing. Maggie says, stories aren't a TARDIS. They can't be bigger on the inside than in the word count. They can imply it, though.
How can they not?
Right? Raven says, that's right. Don't Look Up was essentially a farcical take on a looming mass catastrophe that I believe was filmed before COVID hit. But exactly mirrored how blasé governments were addressing, much less mitigating the danger. Oh dear. Eva says, my fantasy is a play on lunar punk, which is a play off of solar punk, which is a sort of environmentally clean version of steampunk, at least as far as industry goes. Let's see. Jennifer Brown says, my outline for, quote, cozy mystery is telling me that my book is probably not going to be a cozy mystery. Too much blood and psychological stuff going on.
Yeah, took it out of cozy and
yeah. Sounds like a thriller. Eva
think...
suggests a cozy thriller.
Ooh.
I mean, add a cat, and I think so.
I would like to subscribe to that newsletter.
Aren't all cozies thrillers in some sense or the other? I mean,
they're all murder mysteries. It's just, are they suspense cozies or thrillers? And it depends on the level of tension, and
I guess it depends on the number of bodies.
Trauma.
number of bodies, and how much in fear for their lives the main character is. If everybody else is dying, but they're not so scared for themselves, I think you could still get away with cozy.
Yeah, but
I
if you
could be wrong.
if you still haven't figured out who the killer is, and they're definitely coming after you, and the bodies are starting to pile up.
Yeah.
Okay.
I've seen some sort of things, but usually some of the bodies end up being someone faked their death to get out of something.
Yeah.
So I have probably read more cat cozies than I have thrillers or suspense novels. I apparently have a particular demographic, and at my age, I'm leaning into it. So, cat cozies and paranormal romance.
You may not know what your demographic is, but you're embracing it with both arms.
Middle-aged white woman.
Okay. All right, fine. You know what your demographic is.
Middle-aged, middle-class white woman. I'm a demographic. And they're targeting me.
You said it sounded more vague. Okay.
Yeah. So, okay. Eva says, as someone who has seen all the true crime I can find on YouTube, cozy thriller actually sounds really nice.
Yeah.
So Patrick turned 4 hours into a 1-page synopsis, also that these people are all thing is very Carlinius and the source of some grotesque things some people still believe. Yeah.
Yes, it is. Right. This is why I actively try to avoid it.
Yeah. Blinkerbell's still hanging out on Twitch. Jennifer Brown says, I never thought about it being a cozy thriller. That might be an excellent description for what I've got going on right now. Yeah. Eva, I'm not sure it's a thing, but it could work as buzzwords for marketing down the line. Desdemona, right with us. I would read something labeled cozy thriller.
I think that is what I'm reading right now. It's a book called Settled Blood, and it's about a cop like doing her job.
Nice. Right?
So I'm, and it starts really good, but I hope the rest of the book isn't like this. I hope it picks up.
Okay.
So is it bad that my brain just stuck paranormal on there to be paranormal cozy thriller? It's like where you find out that all of the suspects are actually some kind of monster in disguise.
Zombies.
No, the victims are monsters in disguise. The bad guys are the humans.
Yeah, it's like, is anyone here human?
Oh, do we want to do another sprint? It's already 6:15.
If so, I think we can do a 10-minute one. Does that work for anybody?
It works for me.
Okay, let me speed through the comments again. Maggie's books don't have racism, they have speciesism, with humans being the ones considered less. Red Spy, Red X, hello. Jacob is here hanging out. Thanks for swinging by. Always great to have you. Eva says, my fantasy is mostly man versus magic, and my middle grade has diversity, but none of it is the central theme, which is how it should be. It should be showing the world, not being like, I am a book about diversity. No, the world is diverse. The end.
Thank you.
Tell a story.
I tell the story. The story is not about him being Native American.
No.
There are other things happening in the world other than Dakota Pipeline.
But the world has Native Americans in it, and they do stuff.
Yeah. Maggie was right with me. Add a cat and set it in a bakery.
Yeah.
Baked goods plus cats equals cozy. Yes. Jennifer Brown, same face when we saw the comment about cozy thriller. True crime isn't a cozy thriller. The vibe is off.
No, I think it depends on the podcast.
True.
Depends on the crime.
Not just the it depends on the crime. Like Dan Cummins has a true crime that is based on, like, most of the time he does murderers, but every once in a while he'll do someone like Louis the 16th or whatever.
I mean, only murders in the building.
Yeah,
it's pretty cozy, I'd say.
It is pretty cozy.
Well, if it's isolated and they're basically on their own to figure it out, then it's cozy.
There's 3 of them.
You know what?
And they're fumbling.
He also has like a horror channel, and like they tell like urban legends and
Mhm.
horror stories and stuff like that, like with his wife.
Mhm.
And they bundle up in blankets and have their cocoa with the marshmallows and everything like that. So it's very cozy.
Yep.
It's very cozy.
Yeah. I don't know anything about Only Murders in the Building because it's on Hulu and I don't have that.
Sorry. You can watch it for free. You just get commercials every 2 minutes. Or it's like $5 a month to get commercials every 2 minutes. One of the two. I ponied up because I wanted to see Brooklyn Nine-Nine.
Okay.
And
Back to the
comments. Right. Okay, I was getting through the comments as quick as possible. Maggie says, if it's a magical fantasy, it could be in an apothecary instead of a bakery. Both use recipes. Desdemona says, cozy thriller. The killer puts a blanket around you and gives you hot cocoa before they start the why I'm going to kill you dialogue. And Maggie volunteered.
Then mentioned that the cocoa was poisoned.
I mean, obviously. Maggie volunteered as beta tribute. Eva says, just stick cozy in and put the book on top of a blanket. It'll slow me down. Eva said, oh, what's cozy? I'd look at the ad. King Red Spy Red X says, we got WWE 2 on Steam for my dad. Oh, you got a new game. Congrats. I hope you have fun with it. Eva tells Desdemona, then they start singing the lullaby. Working title, The Lullaby. Desdemona, that would be awesome. But we keep adding comments. I know. Okay. 10-minute sprint. 10-minute sprint. Where'd the tab go? Okay. Set timer. Ready. Wait, what did I just... I did a thing.
It enlarged it.
Okay, there we go. Let's get started in 3, 2, 1. Boom. Chaka laka laka. And we're back. So, how was your sprint? 2, 3. I got 3 pages. I reviewed the feedback from the 3 different beta readers, and I'm on to page 3 or 4, really.
Nice.
So, finished 3, on to 4.
Woo.
So, how was yours?
Mine was spent queuing up my newsletter and then kind of proofreading through some of the video scripts that I have pre-written.
And I got through proofing like another 5 pages, I believe. Around 4 or 5 pages. I've got about 4 more to go. But it's looking good so far. It's been interesting. I'm having the computer read this. I'm selecting sections and having the computer read them to me and reading along, so that I've got 2 different parts of my brain engaged to try to spot weird things and mistakes in the world in the words.
Right.
Nice. Newsletter reminded me I have a newsletter for the con thing to get out the door. So I just forwarded it to one more person to get eyes on it before we send it out. So,
nice.
Okay. So hopping into the comments real quick. Raven says, I think the scene I would most interpret as cozy murder is in V for Vendetta, when V murders a doctor by poisoning her in her sleep, then waking her up long enough to have a heartfelt talk before she dies. Eva, hello there, beautiful. Did you have a good sleep? You look so peaceful. Do you like the dress I got you into? Your family will think you look so peaceful. No, don't cry. You don't want your mascara to run. Lullaby music begins. Eva says, my sprint work. Also, not editing for this one. Desdemona got another 288 words, considering it was less than half the sprints we've been doing.
Yeah.
Still on pace, doing awesome.
Still on pace. Yeah.
So, oh, and don't forget to hydrate. Hydrate or dihydrate.
Here.
So, and Jennifer says, my sprint was spent working on my outline. I think Eva may be onto something with the whole cozy thriller idea. So glad we could help you. We're so excited about this. Oh my goodness. So anyway, it's 6:32, and maybe it's time to go do other things like figure out dinner.
Yeah, maybe so.
Yep.
So, did y'all want to tell the people who you are and where to find you?
I guess I'll go first. Howdy, neighbors. I'm Sako Tumi, also known as Voit. I write horror, and I'm a witch, and I'm a graphic designer.
What? Oh, no.
Whoa.
And sometimes
you. I can't just spotlight you? Okay, fine. I'll
Yes,
go back
you
to where
can.
we were.
Yeah.
I wasn't doing it. I mean,
That's
I can,
really funny.
but like...
All
we
right.
need to practice.
How do I make you big? I can do solo layout.
That's what that is.
Okay.
Anyway, let me try that again. Howdy, neighbors. I'm Sako Tumi, also known as Voit. I write horror, and I'm a witch, and I'm a graphic designer. So sometimes I combine those 3 things. But it has nothing to do with any of that whatsoever. Is apparently I have geared my channel towards tabletop role playing. So if you are interested in playing D&D and have no idea what goes into such things, or if you are a gamer and you would like to hear an analysis about etiquette in the gaming world, then please drop by my channel. I would love to see you.
Okay.
Okay.
I don't know why it won't let me like spotlight layout with like switching up who's big, but whatever.
Don't know.
Anyway, Doc, who are you?
Who
Where
am I?
are we?
I'm Doc Coleman. I write steampunk comedy adventure. And if you're watching this live, or if you're watching this soon after it goes to air, there are still a few chances left to be part of the Full Steam Ahead Kickstarter, which is going to be producing 3 steampunk anthologies, one of which is The Cast of Crows, which will feature one of my stories. So
Ooh.
if you're interested in that, go to Kickstarter and search for Full Steam Ahead, or you can
Link
follow the
drop.
link that Morgan has dropped into the chat. If you're just interested in myself and you've missed out because you're watching this later on, the books should be out around April. And one of the ways that you should be able to find them is by searching for Doc Coleman Steampunk, and that should lead you to my website, doccoleman.com. It'll also help you find my Amazon author page, which will have links to all of the books that I'm in. And you can preview the books there and decide if they're right for you.
And I'm your host, Morgan Hazelwood. I am an actively queering fantasy author and a blogger, and podcaster of Writing Tips from the Pros, and of course, my own writerly musings. Let's see. What did I do this week? This week, I author spotlit. Who was my guest this week? Oh, right, Dawn Vogel. So super excited to have her. And then I was talking on the YouTubes and on the blog about positive speculative fiction.
Yeah.
What makes a work positive, how you can find the positivity in your own work. Spoiler alert, end with hope. It doesn't have to be cheerful, everything goes right for everybody, although it can be if that's what you're feeling. But as long as you give, like, it can end in a tragedy, but as long as you give the reader hope that it was all worth it, it's positive.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
So my novelette is like 90% abuse, and then she stands up for herself, and it's worth every moment.
Some people need that catharsis.
Yeah.
Remember, rage can be cathartic because it's a step above despair. So anyway, that's what I'm talking about. Check it out. Morgan Hazelwood, everywhere you go. And yeah, we should be back next week. So have a great week and check you out later. Wait, I might do a raid. How do these things work?
Oh, yeah, that.
Yeah. So creator spotlight, blah, 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 raid channel. Let's see. Travis or Supernatural Writer?
Supernatural Writer.
Okay, we'll go there. Starting raid. Ready to raid in 10, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3. It's a Twitch thing if you're on YouTube.
Yep.
Okay. And for the rest of you, have a great week, and we're still peace outing because it's dinner time. Bye.
Bye.